Hey everybody, this is Mike, KO4PDI, and I am standing here with a pioneer and a legend, the great Lou Mc Fadin. What's your call sign, Lou?
W5DID.
W5DID. Why is Lou a legend? Why are you a legend? Oh, that's right. You built the power supply for the ISS, for the radio on the ISS, correct?
Yes.
And it's actually right behind me here on the table. I'll take a look at that later. But Lou, I got to tell you, you've been working with radios on space vehicles for a long time.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you worked on?
The first ham radio was?
The first thing you worked on that went to space.
Oh, that would be the far ultraviolet spectrometer on Apollo.
An Apollo mission.
Yeah.
And you had a little bit to do with Owen Garriott and him doing.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How did you get the radio on this space shuttle?
Well, there was a group in JSC Ham Club.
JSC,
and,
Johnson Space Flight Center.
Yeah.
Right.
And they wanted to fly this. They'd proposed to fly it on the Skylab, but they proposed it too late. So we were asked to put together another proposal for the shuttle missions. So.
Okay.
We had to put all the safety and requirements that NASA always has.
Right.
We had to meet all those. So we had to make drawings, we had to have tests.
Right. I think one of the things that impressed me back in, I think it was February, we were up at Kennedy Space Center for the anniversary of ARISS, and they had the antenna they used on the shuttle was actually, it fit in the window.
Yes.
Of the shuttle.
Yes.
Did you have anything to do with that design too?
Yeah.
You designed that too? That was amazing.
I didn't design it, but I did have to test it and certify it. And we took that antenna down to the Cape and we got them to let us put it in the window and test it.
Did you actually go in the space shuttle to test it?
All of them.
I'm so jealous of this guy.
Even the Enterprise, I went on, we had to test it there.
Wow.
Because
the Enterprise was the one they used to test the flight systems.
Yeah.
They did the drop tests with the Enterprise. It never actually went to space, but it was the same dimensions as the Discovery and everything else.
It had the actual same windows as the flight system.
Right.
And which is a 3-layer window. And the only place we could get access long enough to do all the tests was down at for the Enterprise.
That's pretty cool.
We spent 2 weeks down there tweaking and adjusting.
Wow, I love Kennedy Space Center so much. I got a season pass. Was that when they had the Enterprise on display?
No,
or was that before they did that? When it was still in a warehouse? Okay, wow. That's pretty impressive. I would love to get on a shuttle just to see the inside. They have a mock-up at Kennedy Space Center now that's supposed to be, it's like split in two. And you could go in there and actually see where the controls are. Not the real thing, but it's in the Atlantis building.
They have that Atlantis that's in there is the actual Atlantis?
Yes, the Atlantis is the actual one. And I got to say, if you guys are coming to Florida, you're into the space program, get to Kennedy Space Center and go check out the Atlantis exhibit.
I've actually been in all the shuttles.
I've been...
Including the Russian one.
Really? Wow. I've been in the Atlantis building. I don't know how many times I went to that. I still get goosebumps when I'm going through that film.
Amazing.
And then the screen comes up and you think it's a picture. It's the real thing is right in front of you already. It is absolutely Dover.
It is fantastic.
What is it? Dover Entertainment or somebody runs that place now, and they do a fantastic job. But I think having you around here is an amazing thing to talk about the history and all the stuff you had to do. You put a mobile antenna on your car. You can't do that on the shuttle. You can't drill a hole through the side of the shuttle, put an antenna and some coax. And you had to come up with a way to do all that, which was amazing.
The way we did it was that we took advantage of the fact that a magnetic system, you can simulate the electric version with the magnetic version.
Right.
And the antenna we had behaved just like a whip antenna, but it was through the window.
Amazing.
Still there.
I remember seeing it, and it was so cool to look. I saw the shape of it, and I said, "That's a window that's for the shuttle."
We made 2 different ones.
Yeah, I saw it at Kennedy when you had it there. It was absolutely. You don't have it here, do you? No, but you do have the radio here with the tape measure antennas.
And that's running.
All right, here we're looking at the actual power supply, and the same Kenwood radio that's on the ISS right now. So tell us a little bit about this. What are these different ports for here?
Well, what we had to do was to build a power supply that was not only good for now, but good for the future. So of course, we only had one radio to connect to it, but we built 4 different outlets. It's like 2 outlets in your house.
Right.
But each one of these has 3 voltages. So you could,
Oh, you have 3 different voltages on each one.
yeah.
So whatever you needed, you could switch the switch to give you that
You
power
didn't
supply.
even have to switch it, you just plug it in.
Oh, and it just picked up the right pins for the power
Yeah.
that it needed.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you look at it, it's a little hard to turn. But you can
Oh, I
all
see.
It's a multi-pin output.
Let me get this aimed right so people can see it. So here you see the different pins are labeled A, B, E, D, A, B, C, D, E, all the way around.
Yeah.
All right, so each one of those ones, I guess, are ground,
Yeah.
and the other ones are different voltages.
There's 2 different grounds because we have multiple power supplies.
Okay.
And then there's a 13.6 volt output and a 6 volt output and a 28 volt output.
And the reason for that is why?
Well, because we had other things we could hook up to it, and we wanted to be available for future systems.
Right, right.
So if you design a power supply with just one outlet, that's the only thing you can run. We can run 4 different things all at the same time.
Wow. I got to say, that's impressive. And then the Kenwood radio is the 710, right?
Yes,
Yeah, 710G.
it's a special version, and the only thing really different between that and one you buy off the shelf is the programming. Because for the one that the astronauts are going to use, you want to be able to read when you turn it on. It comes up to a known configuration, not just the one that you were using last time.
Right.
So that's what this does.
Now, I don't know if anybody else has this question, because this isn't technically a technical question, but the first thing I noticed when I saw this power supply was these coverings over
Yeah.
the wires. What is this for, and why does it, because even the microphone cable has that. You
Yeah,
can see, here's the mic
because
cable here.
They have certain flammability requirements
Okay.
for cables, and so that you have to either, the wire that you use has to either already be approved or gets approved, or you put something like this over it.
Okay. And what about that antenna? There's 4 of those on the ISS, right?
There's one like this.
Okay.
This is one that goes on the Columbus module.
Okay.
We had the other one out here. They moved it.
I saw them at KSC. They were
Yeah,
like,
we
I have
it here.
pictures of them at home. That it's got the metal, like a metal plate and a little
Yeah.
circular thing on it, and then they made one of us a
was
tape
that?
measure, right?
Yeah, well, they're all made like this, out of this material. This is spring steel, but this Kapton is so to protect the suit from the sharp edges.
Right.
That's all that's for.
Okay.
And this is made so that if they're out there doing an EVA or something and they bump into it, it won't break that off at the connector. This protects it.
Right. That's good.
300-pound kick won't break that.
Amazing stuff, man. Somebody had to do it, and you were the pioneer that came up with this idea.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say I come up.
Start filming. All right, so we're here with Lou. You heard a little bit about the radio, a little bit about the power supply. I hope you enjoyed that. This man is a legend. He's a legend in space
say that.
ham radio. Yeah, I think you are. I think you are. You came up with a lot of good ideas, and I'm grateful for your service. Thank you so much for helping out the ham community in space. That was really great. KR4 PDI, I'll be back later.